Hello, everyone. Welcome to Developing Palates. I am Aaron Loomis coming to you from the Drew Estate Studio. And with me today from the Bastani Studio is John McTavish. How you doing, John?
I'm doing well, Aaron. I have a question for you, though.
Yes.
What are you doing for sides for Thanksgiving?
So I have three Thanksgivings, which
Oh,
is
nice.
the modern family kind of
Yeah, yeah,
style of things. So uh, tomorrow, which was for the people watching this video way past
yeah. It'll be
Thanksgiving,
way past.
will be Thanksgiving Day. We're going to my wife's family's side. And my wife's stepmother is a nutritionist dietitian. So we will have well proportioned meals,
Well
probably with
proportioned.
no
That,
leftovers, right?
that's not what
So
Thanksgiving's all about. It's about
that's
excess and
okay. Hey,
disgust.
hey, hey. That's why we have three
All right,
Thanksgivings.
all right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Friday, we're going to do our own little at-home family Thanksgiving, where
Nice.
I'm going to smoke a couple turkey breasts,
Hell yeah.
mashed potatoes and gravy, stuffing, and
Did you Italian sausage and stuff?
no, just
Okay.
traditional, and then some green beans. And
Nice.
then pumpkin pie and pecan pie.
Hell yeah.
And then Saturday we will get together with my family, and it's usually turkey, ham, all the traditional stuff: turkey, ham, mashed potatoes, stuffing, enough desserts to give you a cardiac arrest, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's kind
Nice.
of we're very very traditional Thanksgiving.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing
Christmas is
crazy.
definitely Italian stuff comes out at Christmas, but
Right.
Thanksgiving is very traditional. So.
Nice. That sounds like good. You'll be pretty sick of turkey by the time you're done.
You know what? I'm a big turkey fan, so
Oh
I
yeah.
don't usually get burned out.
Nice.
So,
What I like what I like because I really enjoy turkey and so you get the 3 cycles of turkey, 4 cycles technically. You obviously your turkey dinner,
yep,
then you get your turkey dinner leftovers, so you can do
yep,
that like once or twice. Then you get your turkey sandwiches, and
yes,
man, I love a good turkey sandwich, because you can do it any different ways.
right,
And then now you get the carcass leftovers.
yep,
Now you can make your turkey barley soup, and like
yeah,
you got
yeah,
another week of
right,
and I love doing that. Like
yep,
I never get sick of it. So
yep.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would never do. I never cook myself a whole bird. I would
Mm,
try to do bone-in breasts, right?
right.
But those are getting harder for me to find, so I have
Yeah.
boneless breasts this year. So we'll see how it goes. But I prefer the
Yeah.
bone-in breast, but we'll just
Yeah. I
do
think
it this way. So
they handle the smoking a little bit better, I think.
yeah. All right. Let's get back on track.
Cigars? What?
Yeah, exactly. So today we are talking about the La Gloria Cubana Gran Legado. This is a massive figurado,
It's
seven
like
and three
staring into my
quarters.
soul.
Yeah, 7 3/4 by 62. Comes out of the El Credito factory in the Dominican Republic. Wrapper is Connecticut broadleaf. There's a broadleaf shortage, people. Why are we doing cigars this big?
What are we
Uh,
doing?
Binders from Nicaragua. Filler is from Nicaragua and the Dominican Republic. Price point is $14.99 and cigars released in July of 2024. So with all that out of the way, take us through your experience with this cigar, John.
Well, first of all, it needs to be said this is a monster cigar weighed at 35 grams. 35 grams is a lot of tobacco.
Yeah.
So, for people who aren't aware, this is almost essentially like smoking three Robustos. So for the first third for me, surprisingly restrained, baking spices, sweet tobacco, earth, and earth kind of lingering in the post draw. Not heavy on the palate, just kind of a nice post draw flavor on the palate. Light plus strength pepper as it settled in, and then the pepper kind of became a background note. And then a little bit of light wood to accent the center of the profile. So quite a bit softer than maybe you look at a dark cigar or something that's really big like this, you're like, oh, this is going to be super intense. It was quite restrained. I'd say almost pleasant. Not overly complex for the first third, but certainly, all the flavor components were totally fine for me. Second, third, creamy wood, largely driven by mild wood on the post draw, and then creamy tobacco in the retrohale, and then kind of largely wood forward by the halfway point. So a little bit more flat, linear than the first third, a little less exciting as it continued. And then unfortunately, it kind of fell off for me in the last third, which is not great in a cigar this size with this length of smoking time. So started with creamy wood, and then kind of a little bit of mild spices making up the gap on the retrohale, mild earth in the finish. But then at the halfway point, this bitterness came through, and man, oh man, it just kind of took over the profile and just kept growing and growing and growing. And I, normally if a guy told me that, I'd tell them they're smoking too fast, but I know how fast I'm smoking and I'm not smoking too fast. So, it's just unfortunate that you probably, for me, I wouldn't have smoked much past that last third. I probably would have tossed it at the beginning of the last third. And for $14 and this much smoking time, I probably would have been totally fine with that. But it is what it is. Um, Burn for me, had to do a touch up in the first third, had to do a touch up in the second third. No issues really, adventure wise from that point on. And unfortunately, and this might be where the burn issues came from, quite a bit of a resistant draw. Now, normally you see that with a Figurado because it's got just the tiniest of exposed cap, or foot, I should say. But even as it hit the shoulder, it was still snug. And so, on a cigar this long, you really don't want what I would call a snug draw. So I had to work at it. So I think for me, this is a kind of a below average experience overall. What about you, Aaron?
Yeah, for me, the cigar started with toasted oak, earth, and some light black pepper. Black pepper departed a bit later, and an oily mouthfeel appeared. A Tootsie Roll chocolate note joined in, and then kind of the pepper reappeared. So if you get that oily chocolatey like Tootsie Roll note, that's kind of what was happening there. Some cocoa powder then joined in that second third, and then the Tootsie Roll note departed. Pepper increased a bit. Third saw the earth take a slight lead in the profile. I thought the cigar had an average flavor profile throughout, kind of focused around that toasted oak, earth, and black pepper. The variations of chocolate were kind of a nice touch, but didn't like do enough to elevate the profile for me. So, also the strength was a bit sneaky. But I think it's kind of to be a bit expected with a cigar of this size and kind of the blend and what's going on in it. But overall, not a cigar I'd see myself coming back to, but you do get an immense smoking time from it, so there's a little bit of value
Yep.
going on with that as well. So, all right, let's get into the scores. We're going to start at the top with me at 5.25, and John gave it a 4.9. My 5.25 matches up well. Average flavor profile throughout. I also John and I scored the construction actually the same, but a little bit of wavy burn. And cigar went out on me once in the final third, but ashes were holding
Wow.
on like in 3 inch increments, which is nice for a cigar like this. But draw was snug for me as well, John. And
Uh,
like sometimes like smoke production was an issue at times where I was kind of doing like some like
right.
frequent draws to try to get enough things. I think in a large ring gauge cigar, and I know you talk about this when you're talking about small ring gauge cigars is the opposite. So you want like a slightly snug draw in a small ring gauge, but in a larger
Yep.
ring gauge cigar, you don't want a tight draw.
You don't
You
want a
want it
tight
to
draw.
be maybe if it's not perfect, you want it a little loose.
Closer to the open spectrum. Yep.
For me, and I think this probably plays in a little bit to the strength that hit me is that when you this is going to sound a little X-rated, but when you have a large ring gauge cigar and your mouth is that open that much and you're having to puff a lot to get air to
It's
pull through it,
uncomfortable.
it's uncomfortable. I think it adds to the strength level because your
Yep.
head is actually
Yep.
working with your jaw open like that, and it just kind of all compounds everything. So that was kind of it there. So, but overall, average flavor profile experience. All right, John, 4.9 for you.
Yeah, it matches up well. I think the score might, make it seem like I had a terrible experience, but it really didn't. I mean, the experience itself was fairly average. It's just that last third and the construction issues that knocks it off. Honestly, for $14, you could do worse. I mean, like this is the kind of cigar I could see myself like if I was on a golf course, this would be a great cigar for a golf course or
Yeah,
like some event where I, just want a really long smoking time and I don't want to have to worry about it. This is the kind of cigar I would buy. And it's perfectly fine for what it is. I think if they could resolve the issue with the draw, that was really the big issue, I think, for me, is it just that makes the experience, like you said, it's just, you don't want to have to work at a cigar this size for that long.
yeah,
That's too much work. So fix the draw issues and perfectly serviceable cigar.
yep. All right, any final thoughts?
Stop using Connecticut broadly for the love of, it's there's hardly any of it left.
Yeah,
Use it for smaller cigars. Please, 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 we beg you.
yeah. I mean, this is a cool concept. The signatures on that
Yeah,
secondary band for the people that are involved in rolling these cigars, which is cool. So I mean, there's a variation on each of the cigars that are in the box and things like that. So that's pretty cool. I like that. This is just a massive
presentation's
cigar,
nice.
man. It's
It is a
massive.
massive cigar, but
So,
I mean, it is a good looking cigar. Like it doesn't look like,
yeah,
sometimes we see these bigger cigars, and they're very clearly a novelty, like a silly novelty, whatever. But like you look at this and you're like, that looks like a good, like it doesn't look like it's a joke. It doesn't look like it's a novelty. It
yep,
looks like it's something taken seriously, and I can appreciate that.
yep, exactly. All right, wherever you catch this video, be sure to like and subscribe, but check out the full written review on the website, developmentpalace.com. Follow us on the social media channels, and you can catch all of our review recaps on podcasts, so iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean. Thank you for tuning in. We will catch you on the next one.
See ya.